Hi, everyone. Thank you for joining us for another episode of The Way It's Told, a podcast about people and their passions and the way they live that in their life. We have a special series coming your way called Meet the Candidates for The Way It's Told. And today I have two of those candidates with me for Eastern Kentucky University. They're running a campaign and they're here to tell us more about themselves. Please tell the audience your name. I'll start with you.
Hey everyone, my name's Ximena Patino. I'm a sophomore double majoring in nursing and Spanish, and I'm running for student body president.
Hi everyone, thank you so much for having us.
Of course.
My name's Makenna Lambert, and I'm a sophomore nursing student here at EKU, and I'm running for executive vice president.
Now, today we have you here to tell us a little bit about your background for the student body to really get to know you guys. So I'll start with you over here. Tell us a little bit, what are you passionate about? Why are you here and why are you running?
Yeah, so I am originally from Mexico. I was born and raised in a small town called Rincon de Tamayo, and I moved to the States when I was 7 years old, and ever since then I've called Frankfort, Kentucky my home. So because it was the capital, I was exposed to a lot of government officials and just truly what the government is about and how quickly you can get involved and create an impact on everyone's lives. So I knew immediately that I wanted to take a part in that. So in high school, I was very involved with our local student council, and I was there for all of the marches and all of that sort of thing that was happening in Frankfurt during the entire time. So I knew immediately that I was very passionate for creating an impact in people's lives. Growing up as an immigrant was very difficult, of course, but also it was very eye-opening, not only to my own experiences, but to the experiences of those who maybe have different forms of privilege or lack thereof. So I think that that's really what sparked my interest in specifically SGA here at EKU. Of course, I have a very deep passion for sustainability, so that was my first involvement, as I am currently the Director of Sustainability for SGA. And ever since then, I've kind of just been drawn to better represent our campus and just really be a voice for the voiceless.
That's wonderful. And for you, Makenna?
Yeah, so I was born and raised in Georgetown, Kentucky. I've been there my whole life. I live with my two siblings. And for me, growing up in high school, I was just really passionate about using my voice and helping others. And for me, that kind of took form in many different ways. I was a part of Y Club and student government, and for a lot of different reasons, I really cared about helping people and wanting to create change and kind of educate myself on the issues that are really out there in the world, because so many people have so many different perspectives from me, and I will never understand all of those perspectives. I will never fully understand all the issues in the world, but all I can do is continue to learn and grow. And so that's part of the reason I do what I do in SGA currently and why I'm running for executive vice president. It's because I want to help people and I want to raise up the voices of those who may not have necessarily had a voice in student government before or may not have thought to get involved on campus before, and really let them know that they matter and their voices matter here on campus. And so some ways I've done that is through creating an academic affairs brochure on campus to get information out there to every single student to let them know that here's what we have on campus, here's what we have to offer, and here's how we can help you. That way they can come to us with their concerns and their needs, and we can get past that barrier of information. And so that's something that's been really important to me, and something that's also been important to our campaign is reaching out to people and letting them know that, hey, your voice matters, and we want you involved here on campus. We want you involved as a part of the student body in SGA, because that's how we can be more representative of the people here on campus.
I think that's great. And I know you said that you were actively involved in Frankfurt and kind of like politically making some statements. Tell us a little bit about that experience.
Yeah, I mean, because I do live so close to the capital, it was very, very easy for me to get involved with our local government. I actually just recently became a U.S. citizen, so I, to some extent, felt like I didn't necessarily have that big of a voice within our government. But once I realized that the U.S. truly is my home, as it is the home to all of my friends and family, that's what kind of drew me to that decision. But before then, I was still very, very involved with marching and that sort of thing. We've had women's marches, we've got climate change marches that we've done before. So all of those sorts of things I was very politically involved in, and just really advocated for people's words and voices to be heard.
And Makenna, you talked about kind of getting the students at EKU involved in that political process. When you first decided you were going to get involved politically, what was some challenges that kind of you had to overcome that maybe students here at EKU may have to overcome to voice their opinion or get involved like that?
I think that because I am a part of a population that is so marginalized, that was a very intimidating decision to come to. I think a lot of the times, specifically the Latinx students and the Latinx population strays away from being involved in a government organization because a lot of the times we aren't really catered to. So I think that me making that first jump and deciding to go for it and to have my voice heard will hopefully encourage others to follow suit. So honestly, just running for student body president, my name being on that ballot is quite a huge honor for me.
That's wonderful. Yeah, definitely. So tell us a little bit about what you're going to be doing here together. How did you guys really come together for a common cause here?
Yeah, so it was really by chance that we came together. I didn't have a roommate, and housing just placed me in a room with 3 other girls that I've grown to love and really appreciate, and she happened to be my roommate. And so we were both previously involved in SGA. She was in the sustainability cabinet, and I was the academic affairs chair last year as well. And so we had kind of got to talking about what we saw on campus and the issues that really need to be addressed, and what we wanted to do about it. And so it started just with some conversations about what we are currently up to and what we would like to see this university do in the future. And then it kind of evolved into this conversation of how can we better serve the student body, and what ways could we possibly hold higher leadership positions so that we can really get more done and accomplish more here on this campus. And so that's kind of how the idea of our campaigning came about. And so we started developing our platforms, we started developing our plans, and we just work so well together. Like, we are so different from one another, and we come from such different backgrounds, so we balance each other out really well, and we know how to disagree with one another in a way that's really respectful and allows us to move forward and better each other. And so that's something that I really appreciate about our partnership, is that we're really honest with one another, and that's something that's really important with your leadership. You don't want to just surround yourself with yes people. You want to surround yourself with people who tell you, maybe that's not the best idea. Here's how you could go about it differently. And I think we do that really well for one another.
That's so important. Have you guys faced any challenges? You're kind of in the beginning stage, I guess in the middle stages, we should say, in your campaign. Have you faced any challenges that you want to talk about?
Yeah, I mean, I think to some extent, any sort of conflict is very, very healthy because, like Makenna just said, it really does strengthen our perspectives and our arguments and our opinions. So, I mean, even just from the beginning, whenever we did sit down and have that conversation about what really is our goal here and what are our platforms and how do we want to accomplish the plans and the goals that we have set for ourselves and for the campus, truly. So I think from the very beginning, we had a few disagreements in terms of how to approach those platforms and how to better represent EKU's population. But like Makenna said, we sat down and we discussed both of our perspectives and reached out to a few other people who have very different experiences from ourselves, whether it be someone that has autism or someone that has a different form of disability. And we kind of discussed those platforms with people that, again, have different perspectives from us and different backgrounds. And that's pretty much how we built our platforms and our plans, just truly by disagreement. So
Now, tell us a little bit, you said you're all about sustainability. Tell us what that means for people that may not understand what that means, and how is that going to look at EKU?
Yeah, so the Sustainability Cabinet itself is actually very, very new. I believe it's only 2 years old. And of course, I was involved both of the years. The very first year, I was a cabinet member, so I had very little involvement just because it was right in the beginning of COVID. So sustainability is all about preserving our earth the way that it is and bettering it in terms of resources and just more of an equitable approach to nature, given that we are a generation on earth, but we are not the last one and we are definitely not the first one. So In terms of my involvement, my very first year, we really just focused a lot on Earth Week preparations. My second year, I became Director of Sustainability, which is the position that I currently hold. And my one strive and goal has been to educate our campus. So I actually started the initiative of the Bottle Cap Bench Project, where we collected bottle caps all around campus in hopes of creating a bench out of them. And I was very, very lucky enough to collect enough bottle caps to actually create 2 benches.
Wow.
So
very successful.
So we will actually be hosting a reveal very, very soon. I believe it will be taking place around Earth Week, so that'll be super exciting. Of course, we've been planning for Earth Week the entire year, but aside from that, we've also collaborated with different workshops, with different organizations to have workshops like a play therapy workshop, which was in collaboration with the 97%, which is an organization that advocates for survivors of sexual assault and harassment. So that is, again, just another example, but we've really just tried to kind of create a way for students to connect with sustainability in an easy and realistic manner, since we are college students, so waste is just truly all around us.
So what really inspired, when was the moment that sustainability became a big part of your life?
So very early on, I took part in a few of those climate change marches in Frankfort, Kentucky, my home. And I was very, very passionate just because I was seeing all of the ways in which people from all over the world were being impacted by the climate crisis, truly. So a lot of those groups were typically those that are normally marginalized, whether it's due to their race, ethnicity, or any other type of background. So I became very passionate for those people. I felt like they didn't really have a voice where they lived or here. So I wanted to kind of create that connection between them and us, because there shouldn't be that differentiation between them and us. It really just should be us. And so just that alone made me very passionate. And ever since then, I wanted to be involved. I did kind of take on that responsibility my very first year just as a fun hobby. And it truly did show me my real passion for it was way deeper than just a nice little thing to do.
Right, and so you were talking about how it's important that everybody is heard, everybody has a voice. Tell us a little bit about what you're going to do to make sure that happens.
Yeah, so part of our campaign, we have 3 platforms, and sustainability is just one of them. Our first platform is kindness, because we are the kindness campaign. That's what we are campaigning on. And so part of kindness for us is making sure that everyone is heard. And to do that, we want to have an open door policy. We want to make sure that every single executive team member in SGA has office hours, so that any student can come in and voice their concerns, whether it be personal, organizational, or just anywhere across the campus. Any concern that they have, they can come directly to their leadership and let them know what's going on and what we can do to fix it and what they see on campus. That way there's just more direct communication with the people that we are serving and leading, because it's so important for them to be able to have that direct line of communication so that they feel that they are respected and understood by their leaders. And so it helps us be more in touch with them as well. Another thing we want to do is we want to create a survey for students to fill out at any point during our leadership. And weekly, that will go to the student body president. And she will sit down, look at their responses from the week, and figure out how to address them and how to get back to the students that submitted that survey, so that we can have some quick fixes and make sure that we really recognize all the issues on this campus and make sure everyone is heard and recognized, rather than just addressing the loudest voices. We want every single person to be heard.
I think that's so important. And now that's kind of the original idea of having a student president, vice president. And so, I mean, it's really great that you guys are trying to include everybody in sustainability. Those are 2 very important things in our culture today. Is there anything that you would say that you could change about the process of being in this campaign? What would it be?
Yeah, I think that the current way in which SGA is running and has run for the past however many years it's been up and going has been a very tactical and performative approach. Simply put, that is something that needs to change. So that's another reason why within that kindness aspect of our campaign, we are pushing for a more authentic and genuine approach to these issues. I think that a lot of the times SGA gets caught up in making EKU look perfect. And I think it truly is time to acknowledge that EKU is anything but perfect, but we want to pave that way to better represent our students, but also better represent the authenticity and the realness and rawness of the issues that we face and are still facing. So I think that that's why it's really, really important to strive for kindness.
I think that's really important. And, I think most students can tell you, EKU isn't perfect. Though EKU is a great place, EKU is not perfect. So being transparent is very important. So it's good that you guys mentioned that. Now, are you available on Instagram, social media? Tell us a little bit where people can reach out to you right now.
Yeah, absolutely. So right now you can find the Kindness Campaign on Instagram at Kindness Campaign 2022. And that's where we've been posting about all of our platforms and our plans for this university, as well as a little bit about us and the people who support us. So if you want to follow along on our campaign, please follow us on Instagram. We also both have our own personal Instagrams if you want to learn more about us individually. My Instagram is at Makenna_Lambert. And
mine is at Ximena Patino 03.
And feel free to reach out to us if you have any questions, comments, or concerns, because we really want to hear from you all, and we want to make sure that we are listening to you and supporting you the best that we can so that we can better our campus and the issues that you all see on campus.
Well, thank you so much for coming and telling us a little bit about you and your passions and your life. Good luck on your campaign. Thank you for being with me today for The Way It's Told. And guys, thank you again for joining us for another episode of The Way It's Told. This is a podcast about people and their passions and the way they live that in their lives. You can find this episode and more at the Eastern Progress on Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter. Thanks again.